Hey guys, Jack on Wrist here, back with another video, and in today's video, I want to do a review of this Grand Seiko SBGX059. In my opinion, this is the most versatile and best luxury daily watch that you can buy, and in today's video, I plan on telling you why I feel so strongly about that point, and just doing a general deep dive review of this watch. Now, this has been my daily watch for about 2 weeks now, and I'm very excited to talk about it, so without further ado, let's jump right in. So starting off with the dimensions here, this watch has a 37mm case. It has a 19mm lug width. It is 44mm from lug tip to lug tip, although it is extended to about 49, I believe, with the bracelet, as it definitely adds a little bit of room there. And it is 10mm thick, or rather 10mm thin, because that is a really nice thin size. And just to kind of break down those dimensions, I think this will fit great on any size wrist. If you have a smaller wrist like mine, it really sits at home with that smaller wrist size. But even if you're sort of in the middle in terms of wrist size, it fits very classic, you know, very much like a Rolex Datejust. And even think of the people that have worn Rolex Datejusts with a bigger size wrist, you know. So if you're a bigger guy, you know, I think it still fits really well on your wrist, in my personal opinion. It's just a very versatile size. The only real gripe I would say about the dimensions is obviously that 19mm lug width. You're gonna have to go out of your way to either buy 19mm straps or shove a 20mm strap in there, which is definitely possible. The only real quote-unquote good thing is that if you are a big fan of Grand Seiko, most of their watches are gonna actually have a 19mm lug width. So if you have straps for this Grand Seiko, you will probably have straps for pretty much any Grand Seiko. Now, Grand Seiko is known for their dials, and you definitely don't get the most exciting dial here. This is really more of a pure white dial. Now, in my opinion, that is part of the charm of this watch. It adds to the versatility. I mean, this watch can go with pretty much any strap. It can go with any look because of that pure white dial. Now, if you're someone who does have a preference towards other colors, there is a pure black color dial, which I believe is the SBGX061, and there is more of a champagne silvery dial one, which is the SBGX063. Now, if you're looking online and you see the SBGX259, 261, or 263, basically that is the exact same watch, same movement, same everything, except for the only difference is that it's just going to have a single Grand Seiko logo at the 12 instead of this sort of double dial, double logo dial. So moving on to the bracelet here, one of the stronger parts of the watch, you have sort of a 3-link oyster style bracelet here with a Zaratsu polish on the sides. Definitely not one of the most sophisticated finishes to a bracelet Grand Seiko has made, but it gets the job done and it really fits that sporty look really, really well. I also sort of skipped over the fact that there is a Zaratsu polish, of course, on the bezel and on the markers and the hands, and this watch just looks amazing in the light. It gleams really, really well in the sunlight, and it is just a spectacular watch to look at, despite the fact that the dial isn't, you know, one of the more desirable dials. It just is a spectacular watch to look at. That's one thing Grand Seiko nails with all of their pieces. You'll find all the little bits of the watch that has that polish, and it is just spectacular. Now, moving on to the clasp here, it is a milled clasp. Pretty solid, pretty nice. Again, one other gripe with this watch is there's no micro adjustment. I'd say the lack of micro adjustment and the 19mm width for the strap is probably the main two things that I would say are the issue with this watch. Otherwise, it really is a near perfect watch, at least in my opinion. Now, housed inside this Grand Seiko is a Grand Seiko quartz caliber 9F62 movement, which keeps time at plus minus 10 seconds a year. That is absurd accuracy. I know when I previously owned my other Grand Seiko, it kept time at around plus 8 seconds a year, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you can just look down at your wrist and you can count on the time every single time. And it is just such a pleasure to have a 9F quartz caliber inside a watch. It's something that I know a lot of people are bothered by because there really are a lot of people out there that only want to wear mechanical watches. But if you ever have the chance to put on a 9F quartz watch and wear it every single day, you will really quickly realize how beautiful and how just amazing it is to have that every single day on your wrist. And the other thing is that the 9F quartz movement is engineered heavily, and it is just a mastery work of art, very similar to a mechanical movement. So if you do your research, you actually will learn how impressive it really is. I quickly wanted to mention you do have a Grand Seiko insignia on the back here, and you do have a Grand Seiko logo on the crown. Very nice touches in my opinion. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I think this is the best and most versatile everyday luxury watch you can buy, and I stand by that 100%. As you can tell by the specifications of this watch, it really fits almost any use you want it to. Pop this on some kind of a leather strap to dress it up. It'll look really nice. It'll actually make the watch sit a little smaller on your wrist, and it'll look just like a dress watch. It has the thinness for sure to back it up. On the bracelet, you have more of a sportier watch, and of course you have a dial color that really will fit any strap color or style that you want. And I think it's just such a beautiful watch to have every single day. And of course that 9F movement is the perfect everyday movement for you. You won't have to worry about servicing it for 50 years, or at least that's sort of part of the 9F guarantee. And it is just such a pleasure to have this watch every single day. You can make it fit any outfit or style you're going for, and I just think it is such a great everyday watch. Now really quickly to talk about price here, you can get the SBGX059 and the 061 and the 063 for all around that same price point at around $1,200-ish. At least that's around what I paid for this watch with box and papers. Now, if you want to get the 263, the 261, and the 259 models with only the Grand Seiko logo, they are a little bit newer, and you're definitely gonna have to pay a little bit more, somewhere in the ballpark of $1,500 to $1,800, I'd say. But as always, just look around for the right deal for you. But overall, I just think this is a great watch. I mean, I don't have to talk your ears off about it, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below about the SBGX059. Again, I'm very over the moon with this watch and think it is really, really versatile, and was a great purchase for me. But I know a lot of people, they can be bored by this. Obviously, it being so versatile and so kind of generic in a lot of ways, I think that can definitely bother some people. It certainly isn't the Grand Seiko experience that everyone's always thinking about with all their creative dials and things like that. So like I said, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this watch, and that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.